Welcome to the Alliance Connection, a podcast by the Greater Fort Dodge Growth Alliance. Each week, we bring you insights on business, economic development, and community growth in the Greater Fort Dodge region. Our focus is to drive progress, support local businesses, and enhance the quality of life in our area. Thank you so much for joining us, the Alliance Connection. I'm Astor Ferris.
And I'm Katie Grobe.
And we have an extraordinary day with some awesome guests with the Better Way Project. Hey, guys.
Hi. How you doing?
So if you guys will just introduce yourselves and just give us a quick update of what the Better Way Project is.
All right, well, I'm Todd McCubbin with Kesterson Realty, Shiny Top Brewing, Fort Frenzy.
Talk
lots
Fort
of stuff.
Dodge.
Talk Fort Dodge. You can't forget that.
I love it.
Matt brought this to me a little bit ago, but Matt, introduce yourself so you can.
All right, I am Matt Johnson, not the Ford guy. I always say I'm the good-looking Matt Johnson.
Nor my diesel mechanic is also Matt Johnson.
There's lots of us.
That's awesome.
I've been in real estate for pretty much my whole adult life. That's kind of how Todd and I got to know each other. And we're also part of the investment group that has the Crossroads Hotel and the Brookstone Inn and Suites.
Nice.
Awesome.
And the Better Way Project, and I like talking about this because it's such a cool idea that Matt and I met months ago, and he goes, "Hey, I got this idea," and with Scott, and it was just three of us, and he goes, "I got this idea that I think we can make a difference in this community. I think we can change things, but I don't want to change little. I want to change big, because there is so much we could do if we could put the right people together, the right investments, and actually make a difference in not only downtown, but by the mall, by some of the abandoned buildings we have." And as far as even health and welfare of our citizens, by bringing this group together and getting these things that normally community size of Fort Dodge don't have, because we have all this extra investment from all these people. And I just think it was cool when he brought it to me that I'm like, well, first of all, why me?
Lucky.
But and after talking to him, it just became, he wants people that are passionate about Fort Dodge, and we found a lot of those people. I mean, you talk about that first meeting we had with
that was awesome
at Crossroads, and
a lot of people came out of the woodworks, supporting, because I didn't know, is this whole thing crazy? Are they going to lock me up?
So Matt, what inspired you to even come up with the Better Way Project? What was the inspiration?
I guess it's a series of things. Part of it is just the frustration, with what we see on our national system. You get on social media, you watch the news, and everybody's fighting about stupid stuff, and it's like nobody's getting along, and it's like, just the way our system works, it's like it's draining the life out of our small towns. And I was like, how do you turn that around? So, and then getting involved with the Pavilion project, there was a lot of controversy. And then, we've tried to build a rec center for 20 years, haven't been able to do that. It's just like, and it's always, we got to get somebody to come to Fort Dodge and do this. We got to get somebody to come to Fort Dodge and do this. So it's like, well, what if we did it ourselves? That was kind of the idea.
Right.
And then you start looking at that, look at all of the money that leaves our town. If that didn't leave and we turned it back inwards, what could happen? And that's kind of how it gelled. And
it's kind of like the why not us.
Well, it has to be us. I mean, we've been looking for a savior for 25 years, and it's never showed up. They've never shown up. They've talked about it. They pretended like they were going to do something. They never did it. I mean, look at the warden. And, I thought we had our savior there that was going to take the warden and make it nice, and then they suddenly didn't get it done. And if we do it because we are passionate about that and we are passionate about our community, we're driving the bus. We're not waiting for somebody from New York, Chicago, or even Des Moines, Omaha to come in and do this stuff. We're driving the bus ourselves to get this done. And for years, these outside developers have kind of been picking the cream off the top, the good stuff that they really want, and kind of left all the other stuff for us. Well, I think if we can put this together, we're not only keeping the cream, we're also taking care of these monsters of buildings, and whether they get tore down or whether they get rehabbed or just to get it pretty again. Talking with Terry Minke the other day, he goes, I think the city put $1 million every year just to tear down all these ugly buildings in Fort Dodge that have been abandoned for years. Why don't we have $1 million a year just to tear these things down and get rid of them? And I'm like, hopefully I'm on the city council next year. I'm going to tell them that we need $1 million a year to start tearing these buildings down.
Right.
And it's a great idea. It's just, it makes the community so much prettier when you can. It's sad that you can tear a building down and it makes the community look better, but it really, really does. And that spurs that new development, whether it's on Fifth Avenue South, I know you've tried a couple of times to put something right there where Creative Cakes used to be.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. We're waiting for tax credits. If we can get that, then we would build a multi-use there. So.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, all those places, tear it down so this development can come in. And this is just a great way to do it. And speaking to Matt's point earlier, where all this money's leaving Fort Dodge.
Right.
I mean, people are putting their investments with, you look around, there's a ton of them, and all that money is going to New York. It's going to international trade funds. It's going to all these different places where our community can and will produce a return on that money. So invest it here. Let us use that money to make our community a great place.
Exactly. Plus, if everybody is bought in and investing together, you have a little more community pride. If you're driving by a new building on Fifth Avenue South or it's a store, you're probably more likely to shop there because it's yours. Or if somebody's out vandalizing the windows, you're probably going to stop them or at least call somebody because you actually care a little bit more because now you're vested, you're invested.
So let's talk about, Matt, who are the people? Who are the shareholders? Who are the stakeholders? I know that and I guess making this broke down as layman terms as possible because I think that whenever you deal with economic development and you deal with development and you guys are professionals in this space with real estate and, those things make more sense. But to the common person who just loves their town, who, like you said, they're investing in other things, would you help me by just breaking it down for maybe some of our listeners a little bit so that we can understand how this works so we know how it's the big we?
There's a couple of us getting this started. Me, Matt, Scott Underberg, his wife Katie. Who else is in that? And I don't want to say this is the group. This is just who's trying to get the ball rolling.
Like
we're
the spearhead.
Exactly. Yeah. We're just a launching point. I mean, and ultimately the way that it's set up, it's almost like it's a business that's almost like a government. So we might not be the leaders because once we launch the fund, then the investors will choose their board of directors and it could be anybody.
I think both of our goal is to, in 5 years, it's not us.
Exactly.
I mean, honestly, we want to get this started when we get the ball rolling, but I think there needs to be a group of the shareholders that actually runs this organization to keep it going.
Right.
I think that's the best way to do it. It's not. This is a community project. This isn't a Todd and a Matt project. This is to make our community better and to get the buy-in from the whole community. I think the community needs to understand that this isn't us trying to say you need to do this, this, and this. This is you and a group of your peers, a group of other people that love Fort Dodge to come in and run this together and keep this going long term.
Nice.
Yep. It's an opportunity kind of for everybody to come together if they choose to. And that's the beauty of like if you were trying to do tax money, it's government. So we all have to agree. Well, if you don't like what we're doing, well, you don't have to buy in. If you do like what you're doing, then buy in, and be part of it. So that's kind of the beauty of it. And it's sort of like our hotel group. There was 24, 25 of us that got together, put some money in, and we built the Brookstone. Because the city said, hey, we need more hotel rooms.
Love that hotel, by the way.
It's beautiful. It's fantastic. So, of course, we did that 4 months before COVID hit. But, timing wasn't amazing.
Well, I didn't know that, but, hey.
If only we had a crystal ball.
Yeah, who knew that was coming? So,
along with if I did, I would have invested a lot more money in Zoom.
Yes.
Yeah, and so that's kind of the same concept is like bringing everybody together that wants to come together and just invest locally.
Yeah.
And then that way the money stays at home too. So if we're all getting dividends off these properties, because real estate throws off a return, we'll all enjoy that. And then that money stays right here and it just keeps circulating through our town.
Right.
Instead of leaving.
Right, which is a great concept.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And that way we're not having to attract money from out, because that's right now the system that we use is, hey, let's bring money to Fort Dodge. And this is still going to be part of it. As part of all this, we would like to try to recruit and attract other people with like minds that want to have a nice life for their family to come here and join us. So.
Right. Yeah. Right.
So where are you guys at in this phase? Are you at the beginning? Are you at the point where you're taking investments?
We've been meeting with people to kind of let them know what this is. We've got offers on several properties to kind of say, okay, this is the base properties that we want to start with to start, building, put the money in so we start getting return, to buy more stuff, to do whatever. I think the bigger part of this is we've also teamed up with a marketing group that is taking videos. Tonight we're actually meeting to do a presentation with just the camera, which is going to be
awkward.
Yeah. So to take this marketing and tell the story of Fort Dodge, to say, you know what, we've had our ups and downs. You were here in the 80s when IBP and Hormel left, and to see, how many thousands of jobs just sucked the life out of this little town. I mean, it happened, the last time was the Great Depression, because the ag economy went down so fast that Fort Dodge was growing. I mean, it was skyscrapers and everything else. All of a sudden, the Great Depression hit. It just shrunk and died. And then the 80s, with things were rolling again with IBP and Hormel, and they both left within a year or two of each other. And all of a sudden, it just sucked back in. And it's like, okay, the town shrunk, and you couldn't sell your house. Everybody was leaving. And now we've kind of built back up. And I think we're to the point where we need to start taking care of ourselves. Mm-hmm. So...
Exactly. Let's take this from a launching point and see if we can make it even bigger, not just, get back to where we were, but even beyond. And one thing we didn't talk about was the concept of some of the return from these investments going back into the community. So the model is sort of like, it's almost like tithing. If you go to church and you tithe, you give so much back for good projects. It would be mandatory in our fund that so much goes back to the investors, and then a piece goes every single month to a nonprofit fund that then can do things like, mental health centers, rec centers, youth programs, things like that, community amenities that make it a better place to live. That's kind of the concept the marketing company came up with, the better way.
The better way.
Yeah, exactly. But it's because like right now, where's all our food come from? Well, we import it. Where's our education come from the government? We're relying on all, our medicine comes from outside. So let's try to do some things that are inside and make it a little bit better for our families. Because, boy, that first night I asked the question, who here thinks our current system is the best possible system for our kids going forward? Not one hand.
Nobody raised their
people,
hand.
Not one. I was like, okay, I'm not alone.
Sure.
So that's all part of that story that ties into we're telling the story. So first we got the offers, identified some properties to get us started. While we're doing that, we're telling the story of this is how we're going to transform Fort Dodge. And the next step is going to be going to some possible investors and say, okay, this is what we have under contract. This is what we want to do. And start reaching out to people and start asking, do you want to be a part of this project?
Nice.
Yep. And that was a great question. There's some legalities with all of that, which, we kind of had to learn. It's like, how does this work?
Sure.
Because there's all kinds of SEC rules that actually stem back from the Great Depression. But so we're launching into a real estate fund, and the attorneys are all working on that. Should be done actually in about 10 days to 2 weeks. So
awesome.
When is this air? I'm not even...
This will be September 3rd. Yeah, September.
So by that time
it'll be out.
Be ready
so
to
yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Yep, yeah. So
you'll start seeing a lot of marketing.
So you'll start seeing all that.
Well, I've seen the billboards.
Yeah,
Those are up.
exactly. Yep.
People are asking us, like, what is this?
What
And
is
I'm
that
like,
thing? And you're like, I don't know.
I know. I almost need like a quick elevator speech because it's so much that I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so many things that are components of this. So it's like if somebody is like, hey, this sounds cool, and of course I love my community, and here's 50 grand. Like what? Then what?
Exactly. That'll be coming soon. So we actually put out a video on Facebook just a couple days ago.
Okay.
My daughter, who was posting that, said he had to dumb it down, make it very, very simple. So that was just kind of the start, and then we'll have sort of a 3 or 4 pages brochure with the highlights of it.
Awesome. And we can definitely link that to the Growth Alliance stuff, link it to our on the bottom of these with the comments on this podcast. Any materials you guys have, we can absolutely do that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Link your website, do all that in the show notes.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And just the more people that engage, this absolutely works if people engage. If they don't, it doesn't work.
Right.
And it's
an experiment.
It's having those conversations with people because it's not a simple concept.
It's very complex.
It is. Yeah. And to explain it and dumb it down is almost difficult. We're getting better at it. First time, how do you explain this? Well, it took 104 slides in an hour and 4 minutes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Now it's down to, okay, we can explain
do it in 20, 30 minutes,
Yeah.
And explain it well, but if somebody wants the elevator speech, and that's where that grassroots come in. So as we get people excited about it, they tell other people who are excited about it.
Yeah.
And they, we start seeing these things change and these things come in and people start making a difference in their own community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are we specific to certain neighborhoods? I know you mentioned the Warden, and that you mentioned that we've got properties under contract, but are there certain neighborhoods that the Better Way project is targeting right away? Or,
yes
can
and
we
no.
say that? I don't know.
Yes, we can. And we have some everywhere, but I think right now the majority of it is downtown.
Okay.
Yeah,
only
that's
because
become the focus is
the downtown.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's 5 buildings downtown that are on fire sale. You look at these buildings, and if you were to take, let's say, the Garmo buildings on the corner by Shiny Top, if you were to take that building and put it in Chicago, it wouldn't be a $300,000 building; it'd be a $3 million building.
Right.
If you put it in Kansas City, if you put it in Des Moines, it's $1 million building, and in the 1020 Central, what Dungeons and Dodgers are. It's one of the buildings that's in this project. It's a couple $100,000 where anywhere else with 18 apartments upstairs and commercial space downstairs that big would sell for millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So if we can transform this downtown and actually get people to start buying in, there is a ton of equity there that we can build from and with this project to start pushing into the next generation and actually make, I'd love to see downtown as more of a Court Avenue vibe or downtown Cedar Falls or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's
It has the
entirely
potential.
Oh, so much potential.
Yeah.
It's like
but
a
it needs
hidden
possible,
gem.
and it needs to be, and that's the beauty of this is
Yeah.
it's what's the word I'm looking for? Synergistic, because instead of one guy has this building, one group has this building, if we have a bunch of buildings, we can integrate the uses and integrate the quality and the appearance, and
Right.
it can make a huge difference.
And
And then
let's-
all that benefit flows back into the community and into the pockets of the investor that are all here. So
And let's say
Right.
there's 1,000 or 2,000 investors. I mean, you can invest a little bit, you can invest a lot, but you have that care. And
Right.
so you're driving by, you're like, oh, I own this building. It doesn't look right. So, hey, you know what? Whoever's leasing it, you need to go sweep that front sidewalk. Or you got dead flowers in front of it. You need to go water your stupid flowers.
Yep.
They look nice.
Right. Yeah.
Or, all that stuff, because we all care. There's caring about your community,
Yeah.
and there's caring as a owner. Somebody who has ownership in something, the level of caring changes.
Yeah.
And if you have, let's say 1,000 people, there's 25,000 people in Fort Dodge, and let's say 2,500 of them invest something, 10% of the population is now watching to make sure
there's your security force,
they're
flowing through town. It's like we're all owners. So
We're not asking them to go arrest people, but at least they're watching to know to make the call to say, hey, look, this is what's going on.
Right. Right. So with this, so we're kicking this off. You'd mentioned, because, I think of this right away, and I think I said $50,000, but you're like, you could go in for smaller. Like, I guess
say it's
that's
$1,000.
Well, that's what I was going to say is, do you guys have something to where it's like, here's the minimum, here's the max, or is it just all in between? Like, if somebody wants to learn more and get started, how do they get a hold of you guys? Do you have to be a big fish, if you will, to be part of the Better Way?
Oh, I'm glad you said that. This actually irritates me with our current system nationally, because legally, to present something like this to a person, you have to be what they define as an accredited investor.
Okay.
And the government says you have to either have $1 million in net worth, not counting your primary residence, or have made it's either $200,000 or $250,000 for the last 3 years.
Wow.
Then we can talk to you about it. Otherwise, and it comes back to the 1930s. They're basically saying, you're not smart enough to understand this, which I disagree with personally.
Sure.
But so the fund is actually going to be for accredited investors. There's a lot of workarounds with that. But then beyond that, like in our hotel group, we didn't have to do accredited investors. It's just people we know talking to. You can form different LLCs. So we'll have different properties and groups of properties and different LLCs. So there's some things we're going to do to set up so then.
So the group is the
The group, exactly.
Is
then
that
the
how?
group is
Okay.
the accredited investor, and
So-
then you can put it, and we'll work out the minimums. But I think it should be small, mainly just
Right.
because we want community buy-in. You
Right.
know, one of our maintenance guys was like, I want to put in $100 a month, for 5 years or something.
Right.
So we'll try to set things like that up because then they have buy-in, and
Right. And why not, right?
Exactly.
I mean, that's really cool. I like that.
Yeah.
So I guess once you have the first set of investors, what's the first project, or how do you determine that? Or, you know what I mean? Like, I guess that those are things that
I think the first
people would
project,
wanna know.
our first mission is going to be cash flow, so we can make
Okay.
sure we're paying these people back. So I think we're going to look at the properties that we have under contract that we know will make money,
okay.
so that we have that base and continue to make sure the money's coming in more than what goes out, and we start building those funds up, and then start picking them off. So, okay, this one makes money. Okay, now we have this much money. Let's actually take this one so we can refurb it and make it what it needs to be.
Okay.
So let's say one of these properties that we want to buy is empty, not making any cash, but we have some ideas of what can go in there. We start putting all this together, make the offer, buy that, so we can start refurbishing these.
So then the Better Way team recruits the business that's going to be in there. Is that how that works?
I think it's going to take all
a
of us.
group
Like
of-
a whole effort? Okay.
Yeah,
I'll just call
we'll have-
Jefferson, and he.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah, there he-
exactly.
Hey,
That's all on you. That's why we're here. So
I mean, the Growth Alliance is always invested in economic development.
We're here
Small
to
and large.
make it better.
Yeah.
And that's the
and we're
beauty.
partners with everybody. You know what I mean?
And
I
that's
just
the
wondered
whole goal is
if
all
we, if
partnership.
that's part of it too. I know that you guys have a huge team of talented, good-hearted people working on this, and I love that. I think that this is, it's really unique. And I feel like that's something really cool. But yeah, I guess it's like the first one, of course, is going to be one that everybody's looking at for that next set of investors. So I didn't know if like we have something in mind that we're targeting a bakery downtown, or are we targeting a XYZ? I just didn't know.
They're going to be more apartment and housing based, because that's where the funds are. I mean, you're basically going to be a landlord.
Okay.
And then, so I think those are the ones we start, because those are the ones I know will cash flow.
Yeah, we kind of, so you have your bread and butter first, and that's what we're putting together now. It's just because we are all landlords and we have these things, and they cash flow. Do we?
Sure.
Does it make millions? No, but it chugs along. So we need that base. That's the economic kind of the engine that drives the whole thing. As far as bigger projects like Teaser, this comes out early September. So by then we'll probably have we're going to build that sports dome. I think I've talked to you about that a little bit. The sports dome out by the hotel.
Which is
that
so
project,
exciting.
Yeah, that project is well underway. So
awesome. That's really cool.
And there's one downtown building we have under contract that I think we're going to buy no matter what. It's a good one. So
that's
I don't want to talk about it yet because it's
that's fine.
Offer's not signed yet.
That's fine. Yeah.
Verbally we have an agreement.
We want no spoilers to mess up any of the cool things.
And so you'll see more and more of that as we go, as we start picking off projects.
Hey guys. Thanks for listening. Here's a quick word from our sponsors.
The online undergrad programs, what's the format for those? Like, how do they all work out?
It's up to the student, because there are some students that simply, they just take classes as they can. But our terms are 7.5 weeks as of next fall. Right now, they are still 8 weeks. Most of our students do qualify for grants and loans, whether they're federal or state. We also have some scholarship opportunities. So we do have Pell Grant for most of our students, and then Iowa Tuition Grant is one of the best things available to our students, because most of our students come from Iowa. And so Iowa Tuition Grant is for those private universities to be able to offer to Iowa residents. So we have a graduate financial specialist, and we have an undergraduate online financial specialist to really help just guide students.
So if somebody wants to be a supporter, maybe they're not sure, they're on the fence with the investment, do they follow you guys on social media? How does the public get to know what's happening with the Better Way project?
Good question. So we have a website, and it's just kind of now being built out.
Okay.
You'll see a lot more social media. I mean, actually, after this, I go and meet with the film crew.
Nice.
So they're here. They've started doing like man on the street interviews. They're talking to people. They'll be interviewing some of you guys.
Yeah.
Just to try to get different perspectives. We're going to feature different projects and properties.
Okay.
Some history.
Nice.
Things like that. So you'll see a lot on social media and then the website. But if people want to get involved, they can contact us through the website.
Okay.
We've already had that after that one presentation. There's one family. It's been amazing. I have a stack of work orders, different projects. They took the whole thing and they've done them all. I was like, they came in, they're like, hey, we want more. It's like, I got to work later.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
But that's awesome. There's and that's one family. It's like, what if we had 10 families like that, or 20 or 30?
Right.
Yeah. So the volunteerism is actually a huge part of it too.
Huge component.
And it's crazy how people want to make their community better so bad. We're all tired of it. We live here and we see how great this community is. I feel Fort Dodge is Iowa's best kept secret. Because, you look at the statistics over the last 10 years and it's like, well, what do you think? And I'm like, well, I don't know. And then people come here and I give them community tours.
Yeah.
They're like, I didn't know this town was so cool. And then you drive an Iowa fan by Flo to Rosedale. He's like, I got to get out and get a picture. Let me get off the road. Don't stop in traffic circle.
Right. Let's be safety over here.
You drive by, even the downtown buildings is good as some of them look and as questionable as some of the other ones are. Like, this is like being in Chicago. This is so cool with the old buildings and the brick and
so much beauty and potential here. I feel like
with our trails and our parks and good schools. I mean, there's a lot here, and that's, like you said earlier, is great. It's like it's a fire sale. Some of these properties are pretty cheap compared to other markets, and so if that market,
and we can create
change,
that
exactly,
we can create that market.
Right. And the cost of doing business here is so much lower than the national and probably, state average too. It's like if somebody does have an entrepreneurial dream and they want to start a business, and the Better Way has a stack of assets where they're like, here's a great place for this to go in. And you know what I mean? I think that's where that would set us apart, being more targeted. And,
exactly.
I think it's exciting.
You've
excited.
nailed something, because that's, I have the marketing company working now, because I want to appeal to, say, I'll just pick on big city, but Chicago, Milwaukee, Omaha, Minneapolis. to families that are like, I'm tired of the expense, I'm tired of the traffic, I'm tired of the school fight, all the crime. It's like, so with those assets that we have downtown, come here, be an entrepreneur. We have building space. We're building, new townhouses on 8th Street, just as an example.
Right.
We will set you up if you will come here and be part of our community.
Right.
If you need to do one about driving, because whenever I drive anywhere else, I'm like, how am I still in the car? Right. And I actually get mad if I'm in Fort Dodge and can't get somewhere in 10 minutes. I'm like, are you serious?
Isn't it so
be there
funny?
already.
It's crazy. Man, they're doing some construction on 169 right now.
Oh,
and I got stuck in it this morning and I was like, what is this? Am I back in Minneapolis? Because this is what it feels like.
And you're there for 2 minutes. It's
literally.
I know.
You're just waiting for the pilot car.
It feels like forever.
Yeah. And you're like, come on.
But we talk about quality of life, and we don't necessarily have all the stuff they have in the big city.
Yeah.
But Des Moines is an hour and a half away. Chicago on a flight is an hour away. You can get to all that stuff in an hour. Why are you spending an hour driving to work and back every 5 days a week, when you can spend an hour on the weekend and, get a hotel room in Chicago, fly to Chicago, fly back for a few $100, and you just regained 8 hours a week of family time being with your kids, time being with your family. So I think we need to advertise that to the rest of the world to say, you know what, we're not across the street from Dave and Buster's.
Right.
You're going to have to drive, but you're still gaining 8 hours a week where you want to be home with family, you want to spend that time with family, the family values can be there. And it just, like I said, it's Iowa's best kept secret.
Well, honestly, I just went home on my lunch break. I can still go home on my lunch break because it was a literal 5-minute drive. And I stopped because the little kids on the corner were having a lemonade stand.
Love it.
Yep.
Love it.
And I was like, oh, yes. And I said, thank you for your entrepreneurial spirit. This kid was peddling lemonade. I was like, hey, perfect with my, my sandwich for lunch. But it's like those things still exist and we have it right here. So I agree that, we all can do a great job about sharing how wonderful our communities are here. And so what do you think, I guess, with the Better Way, this is such a different approach, but what are you guys both, most excited about this?
I have a business downtown.
Yeah.
Several buildings downtown. And when we built Shiny Top, first of all, it was an old strip club.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It was
not know that.
Katie and I are new here.
Not that I had been inside before, but
You drove by a couple times.
It was terrible. Before pictures, Nate has them. I can dig them out. They were bad. So we took this ugly building and put probably $250,000 into it. I don't remember the actual number now, and built it into this brewery that didn't feel like you were in Fort Dodge. You'd walk in, it felt like you were in Chicago or Des Moines, and all of a sudden after that, Steve Daniels redoes the building across the street, makes it nice, moves in Edward Jones and that photography studio, and all these things start kicking off. Right there, it was that catalyst that made a difference and actually made that block get better. I see the Better Way being that catalyst and actually the tool that helps our community turn into that. Instead of taking the little 500 block of Central Avenue, it takes all of downtown first, and then it takes the ancillary downtown buildings, and then it takes the North 9th Street, North 8th, and takes those, and you're right there, and you start developing those out, and there's great tax incentives to build a little development right there by the church, but nobody's done it yet. And out-of-town people are like, well, that's not the cream. We're not going to take that one. We're like, you know what? We don't need that return. We just want to make our community better. Let's make this awesome.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And so I see that seeing that our community start bettering itself from the inside out.
I like
is
that.
my
that's awesome.
Yeah,
what I
it's by
see
working together and voting with our dollars. It's like, hey, I'll throw a little bit at it. And if you don't want to throw money in, volunteer, come help.
Absolutely.
So you mentioned volunteering. So if somebody wants to get involved, how can they? Or do you have to just be a real estate person to get involved? Do you want to share about that?
No, a lot of the people that are already helping are not real estate related.
Really?
We've got people, this might sound silly, but they're going, because we set up kind of the command center, I call it the war room out at the hotel, and that's kind of our center, and eventually we're going to move downtown once we get that building bought.
Yeah.
But somebody goes and gets drinks and waters and sodas, for us, and, cleans up. We're doing some litter pickups, and I know you're doing one Thursday downtown, which is awesome.
Yeah, which this will be out by the time we already do that.
But that's right.
So you did a great job picking up litter downtown.
Well-attended. Good job, Astra.
The amount of people who signed up to help clean downtown is insane. We have all the like local businesses.
That is fantastic.
I mean,
so it just shows
and
you.
that would show
downtown.
you that, like, hey, people are willing to help, and maybe they don't have the resources to invest, but maybe they could help with their time and talent.
Exactly, and that's, I mean, that it's all resources. Time is resource,
and sweat
Labor
equity is a
resource.
real thing.
Exactly.
You know, putting that sweat in to start building. You know, you don't have $100 a month, but I can give you 10 hours or whatever. And
Yeah, maybe there's going to be some painting crews. Maybe the lady down the street can't afford to paint her house, and it's on a traffic corridor, and it kind of looks bad to our visitors that come into town. Well, let's clean it up for her. I mean,
it's like the YouTube videos where they mow people's lawns for them.
Exactly.
I love watching those.
I do too. We need to start our own with Better Way.
Oh my gosh, that would be cool.
That would be
watch
a cool
the
one.
cleanup efforts.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Pike is awesome. They do an amazing job with what they've got going on. But I'm like,
they are so busy, and they're all volunteers.
They are.
And the town looks so good. I was driving by the high school the other day with have the little garden on the corner there.
Yeah, isn't that pretty?
And there was somebody out there weeding and doing all this stuff, and I'm like, thank God for Pica.
No kidding.
Yeah,
Literally.
we need more of them.
We need
people
more
doing
of
that.
them. Absolutely.
Yes.
More people pitching in.
Yeah, one of the things I'm excited about is kind of the focus on kids, you know, with the sports dome and with the pavilion. Now we become kind of a regional sports hub.
Yeah.
So it's more of that kind of healthy.
Absolutely.
One of the initiatives we're looking at is maybe some indoor greenhouse space, taking some of these old buildings. Let's grow some of our own food inside.
Yeah.
And maybe not spray it with poison. So when we feed our kids, it's like they're eating something sort of healthy.
Right. I mean, we are an agriculture hub in Iowa as well.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. And there's got to be those kinds of programs out there. And if not, we'll kind of create them. But
Nice.
this is kind of stupid, but I learned you can actually have an LLC. Kids can actually be a member. So I actually just set up a LLC just for kids. So like if, I'm a grandpa, it's like if I want to throw some shares at my grandkids in this project, there will be an opportunity for people to do that. So
That's a great
idea.
Really
Really
cool.
it's like, because they're the future. If all of a sudden they grow up,
Absolutely.
hey, I own 5 buildings downtown. Well, they might stay here. You know, and if there's more things to do, they might love their town more. Like we grew up.
Right.
How old are you? You're
50-something.
Okay. You're you know, like in the 80s
Lower
when
50.
Hormel's left, it was, you know, the economy was just, you know, we were kind of like, oh, you know, we're just, you know, junky and all that. So we grew up not with the greatest attitude about our hometown. Well, if we could change that, maybe those kids start sticking around instead of leaving.
Right.
So
That was the mindset around Fort Dodge for years, and you'll remember this is when I raise my kids, I need to get them out of Fort Dodge. So people work so hard to, especially lower middle or upper middle class up, work so hard to get their kids to college, to find a job in Minneapolis, to find a job in Des Moines, to find a job in Chicago, to say, you don't want to live here, you don't want to grow up here. And that mindset has started to change a lot in the last 10, 15 years. But I think this gives them a little more reason to say, you know what, if you are already staying here, you moved away, come back. It's a great place to be, and you can be part of the community. And somebody moving to town can buy in.
Yeah.
Somebody from Chicago that has family here that's like, you know what, I do want to buy in because I want to retire back at home where, you know, I can be anywhere in 10 minutes. And if I want to go, to the play, I can. Actually, Fort Dodge, you can almost go to the play.
Right.
I know.
Go to an NBA game, you can
between
get on a
that
plane.
and live music and
Between Iowa Central's new performing arts building, which is top notch, and then all of the live music around. I know we always joke in the office, like, it's so funny when people are like, there's nothing to do around here. And I'm like, well,
you're
so
not
much
looking.
to do. Yeah,
I don't know what
he
you're
started
doing.
an events calendar, and my stupid phone won't stop buzzing. Every day I'm like, can I turn the notifications off on this one calendar? It is unbelievable.
There's a lot going on
There's
here.
so much going on.
And more to come. And that's
I know. It's really cool. It's really cool. What other things do you want our listeners to know about the Better Way project?
Speaking of the creativity we haven't talked about, we just came out in the last couple of days. We're doing 4 creative contests.
Okay.
So there's a short story contest, so to engage people in their community. So the story has to be about Fort Dodge or set in Fort Dodge. It can be a real story. It can be something made up, but it has to have a Fort Dodge theme.
Okay.
And we have prizes for kids, teens, and then adults. So there's 3 categories, cash prizes.
Nice.
There's a song contest. So write a song about Fort Dodge. With all the music we have, I'm hoping some of these guys will throw a song together. I mean, that'd be kind of fun. Put a CD together. Okay, that's not a thing. We're going to put an 8-track together
CDs no more.
of great music.
Streaming only.
We'll get that on
Wait,
Apple
nobody
Music.
uses those anymore either.
Right.
Then the other one is an art contest, and I think the people at the Buena are going to be the judges.
Awesome.
They'll be able to drop stuff off at the command center at the hotel, but paint a painting about Fort Dodge or some kind of a craft. what's the fourth one? Like a short video, like a TikTok video, social media video.
Nice.
So we're hoping, people will kind of engage. Let's see
local content.
Exactly. Okay. Local content from local people.
Nice.
Let's show off our talents and
Absolutely.
see what we can come up with. So, and again, it's community engagement.
Yeah.
When it gives us stories to tell about our community.
Exactly.
Right.
I mean, all of them are, hey, this is a painting of this. This is, this is a story about how my grandpa did this, or,
Yeah, there's some great history here. There's some great anecdotes, some great, there's some, good crime stories. There's a lot of cool stuff that's happened here, and let's try to capture all that. And some of that is because we want that content for ultimately the documentary or the reality show that we're putting together as part of all this. But
wait, you said a reality show?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of it. So we're filming.
Okay, so you guys didn't say this.
See, I was going to ask about this.
Okay,
Because I've watched all the things. I've been to the website. I've done as much research
Tell
as I
us
can.
about the reality show, please.
So it's so this whole thing is an experiment. We don't know if it's going to work or not.
Right.
We don't know if anybody's going to buy the reality show, but we're still going to make it.
Exactly. No, 100%. Exactly. Like we talked to a large studio distributor, and they're like, we love the project, but we don't make them. You make it, and then we'll distribute it for you. So it's like, well, let's make something.
Yeah.
So that's the marketing companies helping. But right now we're just gathering content. Here's the story. I mean, a piece of this may end up on it.
Sure.
Who knows?
No, that's great.
And so that's the crew getting the man on the street interviews, the local interviews, featuring the properties, the projects. They'll be filming at Downtown Country Jam.
Nice.
Oh, wait, that's going to be over by the time this goes.
They filmed.
They
filmed. They filmed, and it was a great success. Not as good as the neighborhood cleanup. But
I look like Trace Adkins.
What's that?
Chewy keeps telling me I look like Trace Adkins. So
there you go.
All right.
Lookalike content.
Yeah, I'm just shorter and don't have a really deep voice.
Yeah, this whole thing it's a story, and it has an ending. That's one of the things I'm excited about. We don't know how it's going to end, but we'll see. So right now we're in the middle of that, or actually we're at the very beginning of that story.
I was going to say we're at an infancy.
Yeah, we're in this is literally chapter 1.
Okay.
Or episode 1. And if it works, like the marketing company was saying, this could actually work in other communities. It's like, episode 1 might be Fort Dodge, next season might be Biloxi, Mississippi, or somewhere,
Right.
You're looking at those tertiary markets where they have the same issues as we do.
Exactly.
People, in the big city don't, think about going to those little towns. They end up getting a little bit of a rough reputation because of whatever. I mean, with the mills here for the packing plants for so many years, Fort Dodge was a rough place for a lot of years.
Yeah, a lot of fights.
I mean, they've been gone since the 80s, and we still have that reputation that really needs to change.
Yeah. I think a lot of people have a perception of Fort Dodge, and then they have no idea what's actually happening here. Like coming to Fort Dodge and being new to the area, the things that I heard from people when I said I was moving there, I was like, well, guess what? It's part of my job to make that better. And so most people don't know that we're right on the river.
Right.
Like, what an asset.
What a beautiful river city we have. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that's like whenever I go back to Missouri and who are like, you moved to Iowa, lots of corn, right? And flat. And I'm like, well, yes, but also it's a river city. It's beautiful. There's live music all the time. There's cool things. There's so many trails and, people have no idea.
Until you take them.
Yeah.
And that's, one of the marketing things is let's do a community tour.
Yes. Show up here and we'll take you around and show you what we have.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I love doing community tours because I just get so excited. My phone rings the whole time and I can't answer it.
Thank you for being a navigator for the Growth Alliance. You are an amazing navigator and tour guide giver, and
everybody
I love that.
Always has good things to say about it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Great.
So you can imagine somebody has positive me about Fort Dodge going around like, oh my gosh, you got to do this. And then I'm waving at people and they're like, do you know everybody? I'm like, oh yeah, that was Steve. And that was George.
I know.
I was taking the last guy around, Dennis. I don't know if he came here or not. I haven't been able to get in contact with him. But we're literally going from there to here, and somebody's walking on the trail, and they're waving at me, and I'm waving at them, and they're like, "Do you really?" I'm like, "Yeah, I kind of do know everybody." Then you go by businesses. I'm like, "There's Daniel's Pharmacy. It's been here for 100 years," and
yeah,
and tell the whole family history, and Daniel Tire, who's also been here for 100 years.
Yeah, it's really
it's
cool.
Just cool, and knowing the people and telling the stories about the businesses. So it's not just a tour of this is this. It's the tour of, hey, we're going to Kennedy Park, and you think this is cool. Look over there. That's Veterans Park.
Right.
You know, Terry Minke put that together. Dr. Minke's been an amazing asset to the town.
Oh, yeah.
And this is, you know, he put this all together. It was all donations. And then you drive over Veterans Bridge, and you're like, yep, Tom Dorsey and Mike Larson got together, decided we need to do something with this. So they came up with $1 million, just $1.5 million to put the lights, to put the all the stuff on it. Now they're working on the little pavilion on the one side.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's so cool. You gotta love this space. You gotta love being here. And I go, did you notice we did this whole tour in an hour and hit the entire town?
Right.
So let's say you move out to the Woodlands.
And the traffic
no
is
traffic.
minimal. Like our whole entire community is great. You know what I mean? I think that's one thing that, you know, it's not this part of town or this part. It's like our whole community is really great. So I think that's something to always be excited about. And with the Better Way project, here we go, right?
Here we go.
Let's do a meeting and let's do this again, you guys, in like a year. And it's
yeah.
so
See where
exciting to see where everything is.
Let's schedule it now.
Okay. Let's do it. All right, Peter. We're going to get that done. So anything else that you guys want to say for our listeners?
Just keep watching. There's going to be social media stuff coming out. There's going to be opportunities to talk to Matt and I and the other people trying to get this started, to explain what it is, and just be open-minded.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little complex, and we're dumbing it down as much as we can, but it's still something that people need to listen. We need to have those conversations, because it's the conversations that help sell it. And it's not even really sales.
Yeah.
We talk about real estate's not salesperson. There's a difference between being a realtor and being a car salesman. I'm not trying to sell it. I don't care what house I sell you. I'm trying to develop a relationship, talk to you, so you can I can understand you, you can understand me. Nice. And that's what this whole thing is we need you to talk to us, ask these questions, ask the hard questions, ask the easy questions, and let's understand this together. And if it's for you, it's for you. If it's not, it's not.
Exactly. Yeah, there's no pressure whatsoever. It's like, if you want to be part of this, please come join us, and this is what we're doing.
Right.
And if you don't, I'm definitely not going to twist your arm.
Right.
100%.
Right.
So,
Nope.
and I like that you brought up the bridge project, because there's been a lot of great projects. A lot of those are donations. Well, this isn't a donation. This is, instead of sending money off and buying stock in Pepsi or General Motors, you're buying a piece of Fort Dodge, your hometown. So it's an investment. This is not a charity whatsoever.
Right.
Correct.
Yep.
Gotcha. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for joining us today. That has been so fun to learn more about the Better Way, and we will keep our eyes on you guys, and we work alongside you guys too. So anything we can do to partner at the Growth Alliance. But we have some exciting things happening. Tomorrow is the 56th annual golf outing, Katie. Woo!
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm
so
ready.
fun.
This is my first one, so don't hold it against me.
No, it is so fun. We say this is an outing, not a tournament, because it's a fun-filled day with tons of great sponsors, whole sponsors, raffle sponsors, and just businesses that are going to network. And that's very exciting.
Absolutely.
So,
Speaking of sponsors, thank you to Becker Florist for our beautiful flowers for today's show.
Lovely as always.
Make sure you like, subscribe, share.
Yep.
All of the things we talked about in today's episode are going to be in the show notes.
Awesome. We have Leading Ladies September 30th.
Yes.
So make sure that you are registered for that. And then coming up is our meet and eat with CEO of Unity Point Health, Leah Glasgow.
Yeah.
So,
all the things.
always fun. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. And thanks for being here, guys.
You bet.
Thank
Thanks
you.
guys for
Thanks,
having
guys.
us.
Every connection strengthens our community, and every conversation sparks new opportunities. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Alliance Connection.
Follow the Greater Fort Dodge Growth Alliance online and on social media. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode.
I'm Astra,
I'm Katie,
and we'll see you next time.
This podcast is produced by Spin Market and Digital. Located in Fort Dodge, Iowa, Spin Market's highly skilled team can help you increase your market by updating your website, improving SEO, designing advertisements, and producing podcasts that will grab the attention of your market. Contact Spin Market today for all your digital marketing needs at digitalagent@spinmarket.com or call us at 515-302-8026. And to learn more, visit our website at www.spinmarket.com. That's digitalagent@spinmarket.com or 515 302-8026 or visit our website at www.spinmarketwith2ks.com.